race that started with ready, set, go. School test rankings, follower counts, restaurant chasing star reviews. The world is full of rankings. If anyone in the world was given a rank, I wonder where I would place. The story began with Shinohara Hiroto, the representative of the 7-star students in Ime Academy, walking towards the stage to address thousands of students. As he walked, he couldn't help but imagine his place among the students. He didn't think he would be at the bottom, but he also didn't believe he would be number one. Out of the 100 million people, he figured he would probably rank around 90 million. With these thoughts in his mind, he opened the door and entered the stage where he was introduced as the new 7-star representative, Shinohara Hiroto. With confidence, he began his speech by telling the students that not everything they see is true, and the world is actually full of lies. He mentioned that in the next 7 years, there would be someone trying to surpass them, but he declared that he wouldn't lose to that person. He invited anyone who wasn't cool with this to come to him, promising to accept any game requests they had. In a loud and resolute voice, he proclaimed that he would claim the top position in the Academy rankings. As he concluded his speech, he couldn't help but think to himself that it was all just a facade, a lie. After his speech, Shinohara Hiroto stepped off the stage, feeling surprised and disbelieving of what he had just said. In that moment, his phone buzzed, and he took it out from his pocket to find millions of messages flooding in. Overwhelmed, he collapsed to the ground. The students' lives on the Academy Island were supported by the latest technology provided by Seonji Corporation, Japan's leading company. Their ranks in the Academy were determined by the number of stars they collected. Playing games with each other was the most efficient way to acquire these stars. The students' journey towards a bright future began immediately. He couldn't help but shed tears, as he didn't desire to become a 7-star student. He questioned what was happening to him. Several hours earlier, Shinohara was using Google Maps on his phone to find his way. Suddenly, a young lady approached him. He looked at her and thought to himself that she was not just cute, but truly beautiful. Various thoughts raced through his mind, wondering if he had seen her somewhere before, perhaps as an idol or a model. The girl asked if he had any questions because she was about to leave. Shinohara explained that he had just arrived at the Island Academy and was afraid of getting lost since he wasn't familiar with the area. He mentioned that he was heading to Ime Academy. In response, the girl informed Shinohara that Ime Academy was located in District 4, while they were currently in District 3. To help him, she took his phone and asked if he was proficient in using maps. Much to Shinohara's surprise, she revealed that they were both in the second year, just like her. She explained that by using his device, she could see someone's name and academy information if they had a lower rank than him. This was how she acquired information about him. Shinohara confessed that he often skipped tutorials and was unaware of these features. They shared a laugh, and she took his phone again to explain everything in detail. She offered to guide him to the entrance of the big plaza since District 4 was nearby. Shinohara agreed, and they set off together. As they walked, they heard a bell ring, indicating that the orientation was about to begin. The girl informed Shinohara that they had arrived in District 4 and needed to hurry to get ready. Just as she turned to leave, a sudden splash of water drenched her, leaving her clothes completely soaked. Shinohara asked if she was all right. Sensing he didn't react, she stated that he had planned for this to happen. Confused, Shinohara insisted it was a mere coincidence. However, she framed him, claiming that he had orchestrated the incident to embarrass her and potentially take advantage of her. In response, she challenged him to prove himself as a true student of Academy Island by acting accordingly. Shinohara agreed, assuring her that once the game was over, she would have the chance to hear him out. She asked him to make the request, emphasizing that it should come from him as the lower-ranked student. Shinohara picked up his phone and sent the request, which she received as well. The request Shinohara sent to her was blank. Feeling challenged by his words, she decided to choose the game herself, thinking, "So, you think you can beat me?" She initiated the game, feeling that Shinohara was mocking her with his words. The game she selected was a turn-based staring contest on hard mode. The rule was simple: if you laughed or showed any reaction, you would lose. She explained the rules to him, and Shinohara agreed to start the game immediately. However, he had neglected to activate an ability, which he didn't fully understand. He assured her not to worry about it and claimed that he would be fine. Normally, even one restricted ability in the app could be a significant handicap. Underestimating her, he believed he could defeat her without using any abilities. In his mind, he admitted that he had made a mistake. The game commenced, and on her turn, she activated her ability called Creation X and launched an attack at Shinohara. To everyone's surprise, Shinohara managed to dodge every move. Suddenly, the sprinklers went off, drenching her once again. She felt embarrassed, unable to attend the orientation with her wet clothes, and in front of the onlookers. Her name was revealed to be Seonji Sarasa, and she lost the game, resulting in the points transferring to Shinohara. Sarasa walked away, humiliated. Just then, Shinohara overheard someone beside him mentioning the headmistress's wishes to see him. Meanwhile, the headmistress had been observing the events unfold on her phone. Shinohara found himself seated with the headmistress, who reproached him for causing a mess on his very first day. Shinohara had unknowingly broken an important taboo with his actions. The headmistress reviewed the situation, interpreting it as Shinohara sexually harassing Sarasa and manipulating her into playing a game, which he subsequently won. Shinohara reluctantly admitted that she was essentially correct. The headmistress informed him that the person he had just defeated was a special individual, a second-year high school student from Aoka Academy in District 3, and she held the top position as the island's only 7-star student. Sarasa was from the prestigious Seonji family, founders of the academy, and her grandfather, Seonji Masamune, served as the current head director of the Academy Island. Sarasa was a VIP among VIPs. Shinohara was shocked to learn that he had defeated her, considering the formidable reputation of her family. He feared that he might be expelled from the academy. The headmistress proposed that the only way to save him was to make him a 7-star. If Sarasa had been defeated by someone on her level, her grandfather wouldn't be upset. The headmistress urged Shinohara to check his device, as he had just won a game against the Empress. He discovered a red star on his device, which allows to tell one lie about anything. The headmistress advised him to use the lie to alter the data that indicated he was a 1-star student and become a 7-star instead. She was aware of all these details because she herself had previously held the red star. If Shinohara wasn't ready for this, the headmistress suggested he could pack his bag and leave the island. However, Shinohara had a goal to find someone on the island, and he couldn't accept a bad ending so easily. He was determined to become the strongest player. Returning to the present, the headmistress, seeing Shinohara on the floor, started laughing, declaring him the best. Shinohara asked about where he would live, and the headmistress assured him that she would arrange a dorm for him. He left, while the headmistress continued to make jokes about him. Shinohara was waiting for the traffic light when Sarasa pulled him to a corner and complimented his speech. She begged him not to tell anyone and promised to do anything he asked. Then, she revealed that she was not Sarasa, but merely her double at the academy. Her real name was Akabane Rina. She explained that if she lost a game, her secret would be exposed and the red star would be taken from her. Shinohara informed her that she had misunderstood everything, that he knew nothing about lying or how to use the device, and he only possessed 1 star. He announced that he was going to lie. Surprised, Rina realized that Shinohara wasn't the strongest student at the academy. Shinohara, aware of her secret, felt relieved that he wouldn't need to lie to become a 7-star, as she wasn't the true daughter of the Seonji family. Shinohara was in his apartment when he noticed a girl trying to hide, unaware that he was male. Her name was Hanji Shirayuki, a student from Aoka Academy. The headmistress had assigned her to be Shinohara's live-in assistant from that day forward. She would reside in his house, help him with various tasks, and provide assistance whenever needed. Initially unsure about having her stay, Shinohara eventually decided to accept her presence. Hanji asked if he was hungry, and later she prepared a meal and served it to him. Shinohara was surprised to see the array of dishes she had cooked. She mentioned that she would dine after he finished eating, but he insisted that she eat while the food was still warm. The food turned out to be incredibly delicious, causing Shinohara to devour it quickly. After the meal, Hanji began explaining to him the academic hierarchy at the school. Students with 5 or more stars were considered advanced, and those with 7 stars were at the top. This made the 7-star students the targets of everyone on the island. She showed him the previous year's results for Empress Seonji Sarasa, stating that it would be impossible for him to achieve such a high score due to his low transfer exam results. However, she assured him that for the next 2 years, their team would do everything possible to assist him not only in the games but also in his daily life, as long as he acted like a 7-star student. Hanji showed him the device already had 42 requests. As he scrolled down, she pointed out a specific request and said she would choose it for his first game, scheduled for the following morning. Shinohara found it sudden, but he knew he had to make an impact. Hanji mentioned that the only way to win as a 1-star student was through cheating and hacking. She handed him an earbud and explained that Kagaya-san, one of their team members, would hack into his opponent's device and control it to his advantage. Fueled by his determination to achieve his goal, Shinohara agreed to cheat or do whatever it took. The next day, the game commenced, and Shinohara emerged victorious. He left the scene and found a quiet place to speak with Hanji through the earbud. He expressed his delight at how well their plan had worked. While Shinohara was still conversing with 2 girls, Hanji informed him that they had received a new request. The challenger's name was Urasaka Haru, a 3-star student from District 11. Without wasting any time, Shinohara hurried back, aware that his life was about to get a lot busier. The game took place in a crowded stadium, with a large audience gathered to witness the event. Shinohara stood face to face with Urasaka Haru. Haru chose a game of anything goes 100m race, confidently declaring that Shinohara could never defeat her in running. However, Shinohara remained unwavering in his belief that he would not lose, regardless of the game. Haru activated her ability and summoned a bike, intending to use it for the race. As the game began, Haru mounted the bike, but unexpectedly, it somersaulted, causing her to land safely on a bed that materialized beneath her. Meanwhile, Shinohara walked calmly and steadily towards the finish line, ultimately emerging as the winner. On his way back home, Sarasa approached him, expressing her surprise that she hadn't witnessed his humiliation. Holding his tie tightly, she warned him that she wouldn't lose to him. Shinohara requested Hanji to turn off the earbud, indicating that he needed to attend to something privately. He had noticed the letter Sarasa had dropped into his palm. Intrigued, he decided to go to the location specified by Sarasa in the letter. At the designated meeting place, Rina revealed the reason behind her impersonation. She disclosed that the real Sarasa had been kidnapped, and she had been chosen to take her place in order to observe the kidnapper's actions. Rina, being a talented and kind-hearted individual, had been selected for the task. Uncertain about when the real Sarasa would return, Rina emphasized the importance of protecting Seonji Sarasa's reputation. She stressed that if Shinohara were to lose, her lies would be exposed, and both she and Shinohara would face dire consequences if Aime discovered her secret. In response, Shinohara revealed that he had come to the island in search of one of his childhood friends. He promised Rina that he would not allow himself to be expelled until he found his friend. The following day at school, Shinohara and Rina decided to cause a commotion in order to attract attention. Suddenly, they heard a sinister voice emanating from the top of the building, accompanied by an eerie and unsettling laughter. This brings an end to our episode. If you enjoyed it, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel, Annie Explainer.